Welcome to Lemon's World, and we are talking about pony cars today. Now, the world's most accurate website, Wikipedia, defines pony cars as a small rear-wheel drive automobile produced by the South Korean manufacturer Hyundai from
Eric, Are you sure you're reading the right one?
Oh, that's Hyundai Pony. Pony car is an American car classification for affordable, compact, highly styled coupes and convertibles with a sporty or performance-oriented image.
Today we're going to talk about the original pony car, the Ford Mustang. Maybe that's why the whole genre is called pony car, because the Mustang is a kind of horse. Who gives a shit? Now in Lemons, it's relatively common for people to bring classic, aka pre-1970s cars. Nobody really cares, but if you bring a classic 1960s or early 70s Mustang, the internet gets whipped up into this froth of why you ruin classic.
Look, there's nothing rare about the Mustang. You're not ruining a rare classic. In the 1960s, Ford built 2.5 million of these things, and at one point, they were literally making one every 70 seconds.
To put that in perspective, according to the internet, 70 seconds is also the interval at which somebody in the UK gets diagnosed with an STD. So suffice to say, that's a lot.
Come on, England!
As much as the GM and Ford people like to think that they're totally different from each other, the reality is that there's basically the same kind of three owners for the Camaro and the Mustang.
The first owner type is the Mustang archivist. It's the kind of person that treats their Mustang like a baby because it's going to be worth money someday. The seller of the 12-mile off-the-showroom floor Fox Mustang at Barrett-Jackson is basically the idol of this owner group.
Now, the second kind of owner is the kind of person who uses the Mustang like a car. To do car-like things, take their kids to school, go to the grocery store, haul lumber, as we all do with our crap cans. They're usually base model cars, 4-cylinder, inline-six, V6, depending on what year.
And then you've got the third kind of owner that absolutely, with no exceptions, has to have the V8 Mustang because of...
As I mentioned earlier, at their peak, Ford was building a Mustang every 70 seconds. And really, that kind of continued through the Fox body Mustang era as well.
Yeah, which of course means that these damn things are everywhere. If you walk down a street in LA, into a field in South Carolina, by a dairy in Wisconsin, there's gonna be a Mustang that just needs some TLC that's for sale on Craigslist for the cost of a 6-pack of Old Milwaukee.
All of this is to say that even if 90% of these things have been crushed, there's still 250,000 of them out there. And they're easy to find with a dead engine or a bad fuel pump, which, by the way, is classified's ad code for I cannot make it run, I cannot be bothered to find out.
Alright, so to recap, did Ford build a ridiculous amount of Mustangs?
Yes!
Can I find one for Lemons if I actually try looking?
Yes!
And when I show up, am I gonna totally dominate a race with my over-horsepowered cammed 5.0?
Yes, well!
We've been doing this for 15 years, and in all that time we've had 6 Mustangs win races. That's 6 Mustangs with one each. And a couple of them won on their second try, but for the most part, it was like 10 to 12 races to win that first one.
So this is an issue that sort of afflicts all V8 pony cars, which just about every one of these things that's got the V8 that is also available on a Lemons budget, well, that car's probably lived a little bit.
And going back to the classic Mustangs, that's also true. Any of them that you're going to find is basically going to be a husk of a car, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it, but there's not going to be very much left of it originally.
Doing something fun with a husk of a terrible car is, of course, one of the main points of doing Lemons in the first place. And there are a couple of teams that have really taken it to the next level using roughly a Mustang as their starting point. The Knox Vegas lowballers found a 65 Mustang that was so rotted that all they could do was take the outer body panels off. They took a Ford Contour SVT that they had already built for Lemons, they glued the Mustang body panels on the outside, dressed it up pretty convincingly as Ken Block's Hoonicorn Mustang. Of course, this was the Lemons version, which was the Hoopty-corn.
Kind of the same story was East Coast Racers' Dead Horse Beaters, who found their Mustang, no engine, kind of just the outer portion of a Mustang. They had always wanted a mid-engine car, so they set to work converting their base model once 6-cylinder 67 Mustang into a supercar. They pitched out everything from the back, they rolled in a Honda Accord front-wheel drive subframe, and it makes more horsepower with the V6 in that than the stock Mustang GT did, and looks hella sweet.
And speaking of really awful former 6-cylinder Mustangs, the Mild Horses showed up to Road Atlanta with this 68 Mustang. It had already been swapped from the 6 to a big block 460 and an automatic from a late 70s Ford truck. It had the original 4-wheel drum brakes. They actually raced with those, which was a self-solving problem because the 460 immediately blew up and then they had no need for brakes anymore. Now, this was a blessing in disguise because originally these guys really wanted a diesel Mustang. So once the 460 took a dump, they went and got a turbo diesel from an 80s Mercedes-Benz. This was not a bolt-in conversion. It is not fast. Working on it is incredibly difficult, but look at it. It's awesome.
The point is, with Mustangs, there's really no wrong answer. Big horsepower V8, yeah, you can do that. You kind of got to remember where it came from. Middle of the road 4-cylinder V6 Mustang, probably a good plan for slow and steady. And you can build a wild-ass car out of a Mustang shell. Totally awesome, we're all about that. Tell us in the comments what kind of Mustang you'd build.